What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today. I'm Madden 23, and today we're going to be doing a rebuild of the Indianapolis Colts and their new quarterback, Mr. Anthony Richardson. We've done so many Anthony Richardson rebuilds pre-draft, and the one thing we didn't do is the Colts. We did do a Lamar Jackson trade rebuild, which obviously we now know is not going to happen, and I'm pretty sure I was thinking Anthony Richardson be next. Probably should have been the rebuild I did, and didn't do it, but now we will do this. So we have Anthony Richardson, obviously, who went pick 4. They obviously have another nice draft pick coming here in the early second. Who could it be? Could it be an offensive lineman? Could it be a wide receiver? There's still some decent names. A lot of them, late first kind of started rattling off there. There's a lot of needs on defense as well in general. Cornerback, maybe make a trade up to get Joey Porter Jr., but I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do. But Anthony Richardson, for his sake, definitely could have landed in worse situations. Definitely could have. Doesn't need to be the guy, as the Colts have gotten, I wouldn't say have gone along well with just the ground game, but obviously it definitely helps having Jonathan Taylor and the run blocking that they have. Anthony Richardson obviously is considered a guy that isn't ready to win right now. Maybe some talks that he wouldn't even be the starter out the gate. That's not going to be the case here, as he is the highest overall in general. This draft class, or rookie roster, if you will, is he actually 244? I knew he's kind of on the bigger side, but okay. I think it was the highest downloaded of the updated classes, so check that out. Ratings are maybe a bit higher than I would have had him. I'm actually going to drop those ratings a little bit. I think his accuracy's a little high here. That's kind of one of the big knocks on him, obviously, but the upside is outstanding, and the Colts, of course, could not pass on that. So I suppose if we're going to drop some ratings here, I think that fits a little bit more. 70 overall star dev. You can maybe argue higher dev. The ceiling is obviously there, so that would, define that his development is good or will be good or should be good, I guess. But star, I think, is fine. Long story short, the Colts may have found their guy. A lot of people thought it was Will Levis. I thought it was going to be Will Levis. And he's still there in the second round. We'll see what happens here. I'd imagine he's not going to make it past like the top 10 picks in the second round. Who do you guys think the Colts should take in the second round? That'll be the thing to put in the comment section below, which while you're down there, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. We're going to be doing a ton of little draft rebuild kind of content. Outside of like huge moves, though, like Levis going to like the Titans or something, I might wait until the draft is actually complete to do any more of these, though, as, sure, like, Dalton Kincaid or something's kind of cool, because he's a good player and all that, or, JSN to the Seahawks, but, like, those aren't big enough moves to, like, warrant a full rebuild, I think, so you might as well wait until the draft's actually done, so we have all of the players on each of the teams, but yeah. Let's get into this one since it is the bigger one. Anthony Richardson is a Colt. Hey, Nick Cross with a dev up. He's super young, so we take it. We're having a pretty good season out the gate here, which I kind of see this team as like a kind of mini rebuild team. It really kind of depends on if they can get some damn corners and some defenders in general. But look at these re-signings. It is a weak group of players that I really don't care to lose, honestly. Like maybe Darrington Evans because he's cool in real life, but I mean, I'm sure everyone else is great too, but just, I don't know. What do you mean? No one else is cool here? I see how it is. Also, what was Anthony Richardson's starting point? Was it 96 throw power? I don't hate that if that's the case, unless he got one from just playing. I would probably put him at 96, 97 throw power, so he only had 95 to start. I guess. I don't know. I probably put him at 96, 97, to be honest. Well, I think we're in the playoffs. We are, with a 10-7 season. I guess this team was one quarterback away, as although Anthony Richardson didn't really play that well. This team made it to the playoffs. A little surprised by that, to be honest. But if they were going to make it like they did, I thought it was going to be Anthony Richardson that caused it. Not really the case. Might have to change the scheme, because even though Anthony Richardson is kind of like a raw prospect, and you wouldn't expect him to kill it right away, I'm a little surprised that it wasn't a little bit better of a season, though. But any award wins, Offensive Player of the Year, Taylor at number 2, sadly did not win it. Rookie of the Year, obviously not going to be close. Number not on the list, not surprising, to be honest, all those interceptions. Defensive Rookie of the Year, number 7, obviously this isn't going to be perfect, and this is basically what you're going to be seeing across, all of YouTube with rebuilds coming on, up with the draft content. The real life rookies are going to be sprinkled in. There's not really much that can be done. All right, we're all pretty limited here. Same overall here as the Jaguars, who went offensive line 10-10. Interesting start. Killed it out the gate, and then they obviously bounced back strong. We have a breakout in this game for Onembayo, who is obviously normal development trade, I believe. So would be a nice breakout for him to get. And let me tell you, this is a close game. The Jaguars are no jokes, especially since it's a division rival matchup. They're giving us a chance here with a 3rd and 3 from the 31-yard line. Can we make the stop? And if we can Anthony Richardson, as a rookie, drive this team down for a clutch last-second victory drive? 3rd and 3, you would think this is a run, but you don't know. I mean, whatever is going to get you the first down, I think, is the most important thing. And ETN just powers through. I mean, it sounds like ETN just powered through my freaking voice box, just punched me in the throat. Can't believe we didn't get the stop. I know we were a little late personally when Nick Cross is, kind of worried about that sweep action. Oh, my Lord, they just smoked us. Well, didn't expect to do well. A little disappointed that we actually did this well because, I mean, I would say the Colts are projected as a top 10 pick, yet we are getting nowhere near that with the season that they just had. And once again, we have the Colts playbook on. I think the actual results of the season pretty much confirm that, as it was not a good season statistically. It just was good. I didn't even take a look at the stats. Did he get it? Nice. We take it. Start development trade, 10K XP. Maybe he's the future at edge. We'll see. Obviously, we don't know what happens in real life. They might just completely replace him. I don't know, but obviously they have Ebukam and a bunch of different other players. But obviously I wanted to start the youth because, I mean, where are you really going to go with him? Like, it's just not going to work out long term. So trying to, replace anyone I can that's older, even though they just got him, and they kind of paid a pretty penny for him, I suppose. The Panthers with Bryce Young, year 1, taking him to the Super Bowl. Will lose to the Bengals. Of course, still a really, really good season for them. And we're an 83 overall now. Any dev-ups for the offense? The answer to that would be no. Not even Jelani Woods. Not even Woods was a dev-up. That is a massive L. And then looking at defense, more with a dev-up, which is actually pretty big. But sadly, no one else, not even McGrone, went up in dev. So looking forward, cornerback is obviously up there. D-line, especially with Buckner aging and Stewart aging, to be fair. Linebacker for sure. Cornerback, we mentioned, number 1 by far. Not that bad a defense. Linebackers obviously need the most work. And then right guard wouldn't hurt. Wide receivers wouldn't hurt. But I don't hate it, I suppose. The only thing I hate is the fact that we actually had a successful season despite not really having the facilities for that, big man. Oh, and another thing that's going to be a problem is the rookies being free agents early on is going to be a bit of a problem. So far, I haven't really seen many, thankfully, but there's just certain things that are going to happen. It is what it is. We have to live with it. Wow, I got no one. I offered Miles Jack a 4-year 36. He took a 4-year 33, I suppose. Fair enough. I offered more than that for Hardman because he had like an 800-yard season with the Jets, and he was nowhere near able to get to a number 2 spot. I mean, this was just a terrible offseason for us. We have tons of money and nobody to spend it on. So there are corners that look better than others. Obviously, that's kind of how it works, but there's a lot of them. So with that knowledge, I am not going to be moving up to grab one of the corners, but that is by far our biggest, well, maybe not by far, but it's one of the biggest needs, so that's probably where we're going to go. Didn't scout any of the high linebackers. I just don't think it's worth taking one in the first round, but the linebackers in general weren't great. Hightower, speaking of high, is still there, but look at all these other great corners. It's going to be tough for me to take Hightower with all these other great corners here, and he's not the fastest, but by, key rating / potentials, technically the best. But like I said, he is a player of a bunch of other players. I don't know what the dev differences are, but even Rush and Wilds would be worth taking. So I think, especially with how fast, certain players like Wild or Rush is, I think I got to trade down, right? I think I have no choice. especially since I want to trade up a little bit in the second round because there's a 6'5" wide receiver. Not the best looking, but definitely looks good enough and better than we have. Can we do that? 23, what are we sitting at? 19, gaining a third and a fourth. It's a little high for just moving back that little bit, but I'm going to take it, especially since maybe it's for a quarterback, which obviously, the Falcons just took, and it would be more valuable. They go with a wide receiver themselves. Kind of hoping corners go, because otherwise I'm going to have to trade them back again, which, I love the value, gaining more picks and all that, but it's also a pain because, once again, these trades aren't really that realistic. This is more realistic, but it's a little further than I wanted to go, but we're still going to do it because we need all the picks we can get. Don't take any corners. Let the corners stay. Okay, there's one. Okay, Robertson, he looked pretty good in fairness. I might just take the corner at this pick anyways. I think I'm going to. With his size, I think Armon Rush, and he's 21, is the best remaining corner. He's good at jumping as well. Armon Rush, welcome to the squad. He's in development trade. That's a win. Kind of curious to see all those cornerbacks, though, because this was a very good corner class. And depending, honestly, how, the rest of the board falls and how old Kenny Moore is, I might go for another, dude. Kenny Moore is 28. Isaiah Rodgers isn't really even our, boundary corner, and he needs a contract. He's more of a kick returner for us at this point. I don't know, dude. I might try to make another trade-up, especially since we gained so much with those trade downs. Look, all the corners are still there. We're going to be trading Isaiah Rodgers, pick 56 and 112 next year to the Rams for their selection here, which we will be using to grab that cornerback. Another really solid-looking speedster cornerback. He's a little bit undersized, I will admit, but 21 years old, fast, please be good. Normal development trade. Ooh, okay, so not the best work we've had, but he looked so promising, I kind of had to. We're moving up 6 spots in the second round, which will cost us a 5th next year to do, and it's trying to jump some teams that need wide receiver here, as we are going to be going for wide receiver ourselves. Some other really good players like safety potentially, but don't really need those positions. So the player we are going to be choosing, assuming he's still there, I didn't see him go, Earl Glenn, the 6'5", sadly 22, which is fine. Very solid looking wide receiver. Gonna grab him, and he is hidden. I will admit, which is a little debatable, but I was thinking normal dev, but I figured if you play the number 2 spot, which we desperately need, that he could just develop into a beast. This is kind of getting like Quentin Johnston, really, a year late. That's what it feels like to me anyways. And this is costly, especially for a linebacker, but the guy looks really solid. So a 2nd next year, a 4th, and a 4th this year to the Falcons for their 2nd round pick this year. Little lopsided, especially if we suck next season. Kind of risking a lot for a linebacker, but there's no other linebackers, and we are desperate at this position. After grabbing those corners, it is easily the biggest need, and Brian Trejo looks amazing. So with that speed, the talent grade he has, we're going to be going for him, and I have made a huge mistake. And a lot of our players are gone. We still have a few linemen. You have a tight end. I kind of wanted a tight end because Jelani Woods, his development is kind of maxed out just based on his age. But I think this is clearly a time for a lineman. The problem is the best lineman isn't that athletic, and he is really undersized. I might have no choice but to take Matt Kincaid. I'm taking Matt Kincaid. Hidden development trade. That's a win. We trade a 5th and a 6th this and a 7th next year to get to the 4th round as the center price is there. And with that knowledge, I will be grabbing him. We kind of need a center for the future, and that price guy just looks so good. I'd be really shocked if he's not at least hidden, but knowing my luck. And he is hidden, so there's a future-proofing at that position, which is obviously important. It's offensive line. We still have a young quarterback, obviously, going into his 2nd year. Might need a center, a new one for year 3. So we have that sorted, and we got ourselves a new right guard, and a couple of normals that are a little disappointed, especially the linebacker that we paid so much to get up to. But what can you do? You take risks, and sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. Matt Gay has a long-term contract. Both of these guys look great, though. You have elite kick power Chris Bradford, who I'm going to take. 97 kick power, 81 speed. And then another guy, the kicker, is also elite. But I'm just going to let him pass because, once again, Matt Gay is on a long-term deal. At least he should be. I'll have to edit that if he's not. A lot of money because we couldn't get anyone we wanted in free agency, but also Hey, a 76 overall, even if he's normal, I will take it. Also, a lot of good draft picks. You know, the cornerback that was normal was a 76 overall. So, yes, we landed some normals that it sucks, but we landed some talent in general. Armin Rush, the new cornerback number 2. Kenny Moore's going to play the number 1 again for one more season, and then after that, he probably moves all the way to 3, just like that. Star development trade, but we landed 2 corners. This team desperately needed that. We also landed a wide receiver who was hidden dev. He's going to move in the number 2 role right away as Pierce, once again, realistically, maybe real life has a chance, but what the hell am I doing? His chances of like succeeding on this team as the true number 2, not very high. So he'll be the number 3. Still will get burned, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be that guy for us. Sadly, only star dev, but we will take it. Single digits, kind of looking trash. Jesus, these numbers suck. What about, wow. Okay, I guess number 6. That left guard was also a very low overall, but this is a linebacker. He's really good. 70 zone with 75 block shed is solid. The number choices, though, are disgusting. Let's change this to, oops. Change this like a 50, 55, 50 looks pretty cool. Sorry if, there's some legendary numbers that I'm impeding on. It is what it is. It doesn't matter, right? Kincaid, he's going to be the new guard because the center's really undersized and can't really move around. I guess Kincaid can't really move around either, but at least he's not undersized. Dev, superstar. Oh, my Lord. He is raw. Like, he is really raw. 68 overall. Man, he's bad. But we got a new center. Should be the future of the position. Maybe we got one superstar. We didn't. Wow, okay, well, that sucks. Any other corners? I don't really care too much about the other corners. I'm kind of curious about the first corner, though, just because I almost grabbed him early and instead we traded down, which, I mean, you look at our picks right now. We don't really have much. Oh, he's normal. Wow, that was a huge bullet dodged faster than I would have expected, though. But, we don't even have that many picks right now. We got a lot for our trade downs. Imagine we didn't trade down. That would have been a GG. Here's Foot, the normal dev, fast but small corner. So, similar to the guy that we drafted that was also normal. Was an, pick later anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And then there was some other corners. Isaiah Martin was on my list, but he wasn't as athletic, so I passed hidden development trade. There was, all the corners we looked at were either normal or only stars, so one of them's got to be a superstar. On to Season 2. We trade Rigoberto Sanchez off for a 7th-round pick from the Chiefs who have no punter, and obviously when you're not really missing much and you're a really good team, I say no punter, because he's a 28-year-old with 60 accuracy. What do you want from me? You don't really need much, and you're a Super Bowl-bound team. Get yourself a player that matters. Punters matter too, dude. I mean, they can change the absolute game on you. And that sounds like weirdly dirty. All right, the team for year 2. It's not bad. Offensive line looks pretty good. Left tackle probably needs to be replaced next season, though. Maybe Kincaid, depending on how he develops, goes to left tackle since he's a bigger guy. But I don't know. Everything else, though, wide receivers I think are fine. Running backs, obviously fine. Quarterback, I'm hoping is fine. Tight end might need to be replaced. He's a 24-year-old normal dev, 72 overall tight end, so we'll see. Corners, massive upgrade. Middle linebacker, 1 massive upgrade. Safeties are young and developable, obviously. D-line, we'll see. Edge might need some work. It might need some work. We'll see, though. And then interior is obviously aging, so defense definitely will need some work, and then maybe like a lineman and a tight end. So don't know what we even have left for draft picks. I kind of didn't help us for this season. Yeah, we got a bunch of thirds at least. So we lost the 2nd and the 5th, but we added 2 thirds, which is kind of like a 2nd. So we basically have like a normal draft class, really. All right, Jonathan Taylor is being a little difficult, just a little bit. 6-year 72. Please just don't. What are their interests, by the way? Is it like just because we suck? Players. Okay, so location. From team has a franchise quarterback. Not quite. Fair enough deal. Okay, that's cool. Ben Douglas, a bunch of backups, to be fair. So Stewart, maybe. Kenny Moore, probably. Blackman, 100% sure. Zach Moss, maybe. And then obviously we're going to try again for Taylor. And then the rest, I don't know about, but save some time so you guys don't have to see me negotiate, just randomly. A really good season this time. Headed to the playoffs. In them, no bye week. Who the hell? If it's not the Chiefs, Bengals? It is. 13-4. We were really good too. We did not have the streak they did, and we were. What about the conference? Similar. I don't know where. I mean, head to head, something. So much into it, I'm not gonna care that much. And what's the best case? I catch them out on it. What's gonna happen? Nothing. Who cares? Did we have the Bengals in this? We played the Browns, so maybe that division. And yeah, we lost to them. So if we would have won against them, not only would have had the better record, but obviously the tiebreaker if somehow they were tied anyways. Looking at the first glance, no one on the list for top tier stuff. Change the scheme to the Falcons. Richardson's still struggling a little bit here though. Taylor's killed it. Pittman's solid. Could be superstar, which would be huge. Glenn was a pretty good rookie season guy. Woods not bad at all. Pierce okay, considering he's like the fourth option now. O-line was great for Madden's concerns. Blocking, could he pay? Could be a superstar. Stewart decent. Buckner decent. Stewart more decent because obviously he's not even a pass rusher really. And then Deo may need to be replaced. Yep, 5 sacks. Kenny Moore, I think, might be a superstar X Factor, and we did already pay him, which is great. Blackmon with 4 interceptions could be a superstar. So, don't know what's going to happen with the season itself, but, I mean, I kind of count like 4 to 6, dev up candidates, which would be amazing. Trejo will definitely be a dev up candidate because he just won a freaking award. Of course, Kenny Moore will go up and dev as well, and he's seen Hardman with the Chiefs' best wide receiver. I wanted him so bad. Instead, we get to play against him, and they re-signed him on a massive deal. All right, going to the end of the game. Really good start as the defense stops and we get a touchdown. We drive down for another touch on the Chiefs. Obviously, not going to go away that easily, but it's 21-7 right now, 21-14, 28-14. Offense is cooking stuff up, although it's sizzling out here. Fizzling out, that's the one. Sizzling wood, I suppose, makes sense with the cooking thing. We're driving. 2 minutes left. Come on, offense. 3rd and 3. 4th and 3. You obviously got to go for it. They want us to run it. I like Taylor just as much as the next person that doesn't actually have to try and stop him. But Chris Jones, I mean, that guy can literally just win the game. He can just, get in there. And we got to go for the big man. Pittman down to the 2-yard line. There was maybe some other options, but Pittman had a slight jump, on the route, and he's obviously huge, so I trusted him. And the team is now inside the 2 with a full set of downs. They get in maybe a little too early, though, for Mahomes and company, and they're going to be in range but not hit it from, 55 yards out? Was it Harrison Butker letting another rebuild team or franchise team down? Regardless of the point, Anthony Richardson technically outplaying Patrick Mahomes. Taylor was freaking amazing. Pittman was great. Earl Glenn was pretty good. Let's take a look at the sack totals. Nothing insane, to be fair. Nick Cross and Trejo, really good interceptions. Kicking was perfect. We love it. We love it as we have beaten the Chiefs to make it to the freaking divisional round. Okay. Still probably a little early in the team's development to actually, make a crazy run here, but beating the Chiefs is already a better run than I would have ever expected. So that's a win. Nick Cross, zone coverage, at least they're developing him correctly. And what is his rating so far? He has 83 zone at his age is not bad. He looks like he's going to be a superstar. Let's go to the divisional round. I mean, the Bengals are probably the toughest team. We're not going to face them, though, because we are one of the higher seed teams. The Browns, another pretty good team in fairness, higher overall than us. Could we win a Super Bowl early? Obviously, if we win the Super Bowl here, I think I'll try another 2 seasons. But if we don't win, then, well, the journey continues, I suppose. 7-0, like I said, I think it is a bit early, but this team is competing, and that's all you can really ask for. 7-7 in the second half. I mean, this is a defensive battle if I've ever seen it. Down by 4 now. Nice drive. No touchdown, though. I mean, you can't ask for much more from the defense, and the offense is just like eating the clock up as if they're not the ones that need to score. Also, I'm not really sure why we're still trying to move the ball. Like, just get your field goal and call it. As Pittman's going to get down to the 5. I mean, you might as well take a shot to the end zone before kicking the field goal, right? Because, oh, great, we're going under center. That's great. Love that. Although it could get a quick throw to Jelani. And that's what we're going to do. And he holds on to safety. Almost got a hand on it. I mean, it's not going to matter, but I suppose it's kind of fun. I also want to use Jonathan Taylor. Armstrong. Okay, this looks like some old school player that we're like trying to. I should have went. Yeah. Should have followed the blocks. I thought I knew better, and I'm stupid. Well, down by 5. Not that the 2-point really mattered. Maybe make it look better on the score sheet. Let's see this kick, and you got to pop them. Not going to happen. You have 4 players there, and he basically fights them all. The former Jet recovering the kick and sending his team to the championship round. Still a hell of a fight. Just would love to see the offense do a little bit better, considering our defense locked their offense out, and there's some pretty talented players on that offense. Anthony Richardson definitely did outplay Deshaun Watson, though. It's just Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. Receiving, Pittman killed it again. Was that back-to-back 160-yard games? Man, I'm glad we paid him. He should be a superstar, especially the way he's played in the postseason. They even missed a field goal, and we couldn't do it. Wasted opportunity, but once again, another really good year, maybe even a surprising year. You know, this team, especially considering Anthony Richardson hasn't like killed it like we've seen in other sims, is out, performing expectations, obviously. Steelers versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Who's going to win this one? The Steelers are in the Super Bowl, though. It's the Eagles. All right, let's take a look at the dev-ups. Obviously, there's going to be a few that are absolutely guaranteed. Pittman was not one of them, so that is huge. Sadly, Jelani Woods also did not go up in dev. He was kind of close, right, on that threshold, especially from normal to star. Probably going to need to replace him, sadly. No one else on offense. And then defensively, Blackman's a superstar. Treo's a superstar. Pay's a superstar. And unsurprisingly, Kenny Moore is an X Factor who has absolutely just extended his career by, I don't even know how many seasons at this point. Absolutely amazing stuff. And, I don't know if he's going to play the number 2 or the number 3 role, but, I suppose our cornerback 2 from last season, Rush, 78 overall, would be the starting corner. Pays an amazing dev out. The fact that Treo's from normal to superstar makes that trade up so much better. Thank you, Treo. I absolutely needed this from you. You've saved my career. Almost got fired. And then obviously Blackman, who we just paid, clutch dev up. He's 26 already? Really? Whatever anyways, but good dev up, especially since he's 26. Oh, and also McGrone, we gave him a 2-year 4 or something like that. He's also a star, which, probably won't matter, but it's cool. 1-year deal worth $14 million for Grover Stewart. He's an 84 overall, and he was our best interior rusher, despite the fact that, once again, he's not built to do it. And also, Zach Moss had a pretty good year, didn't he? I don't remember the exact yards per carry, but he had like 10 touchdowns. 3.8 yards per carry with 10 touchdowns for a backup is actually pretty damn good for Sims. So 3 or 12? No! Do you realize your position's a dime a dozen? At this rate, it's more like a dime a double dozen, like how common running backs are. Even though we just seen 2 running backs go in the top 15 for the first time in I don't even know how many years. But 70 mil, obviously we have money to spend in free agency. I don't think I would go with wide receiver. Edge rusher would be great. Do you maybe argue if Rashawn Gary had a bad season, I'll allow us to sign him? And he did not. He played really well. The quarterbacks, I forgot to extend them for their respective teams. I might have to make trades, which would be super freaking annoying, but what can I do? Logan Wilson, if I can get him on like a 2-year 28 or something, 2-year 30, I'd do it. Leighton Vander Esch, super good overall. We have money and we have needs. It's really weird to say it like that, but I'd do something like this. Can we get some players though? I don't even care who they are this rate. I just want to win some freaking bid wars. So I offered 2 players, one of them Leighton Vander Esch, of course, and sadly, it looks like Seattle's going to end up getting him. Did we get our other player though? We didn't, sadly. What was Everett's offer? So 4-year 20. So this one's a fair deal. I offered a 2-year 21. They offered a 4-year basically 40. Totally fair. Finally, I don't, get to yell at the game. Very rare sighting. The only thing is, will we have a tight end? I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, they absolutely think he's a pass rusher. Holy crap, a 2-year 36. Is he at least as good as advertised? Pretty much, even though he's only star. I guess a 2-year 36. If they take it, I'm going to edit him down. Do they want everyone? Do you want them all? Should I just stop trying at all? I mean, you can have him. Why not? Nobody finished the signing on Isaiah Simmons. This is kind of our last chance to get a linebacker. A 4-year $40 is quite costly, but it would put us above the bunch. Did we get him? We did. We got somebody, thankfully. We still have 60 mil, but we finally got somebody. He's obviously pretty damn raw. Could move back to safety if we needed it, which I don't think we do. But it is what it is. He's actually really good in coverage, so we trade 26 and 90 for 20 in the draft to grab a tight end who looks very solid, looks athletic, decently tall, I suppose. Mr. Dave Fox. Scouted him more, but didn't really get a full scout. But A-catching, 6'4", 253, with a 4.4, 740, and a bunch of firsts. Now, I will say I looked at the tight end class. It looks pretty garbage, so those firsts are kind of misleading. But he's still really good. Worth the pick, I think. And I'm surprised, because I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of holding my breath, thinking he was going to be normal. I was going to be fine with it, though, because obviously we need a tight end that has potential. But he's actually hitting, so massive win. So we had a couple of linemen. They both went, or two went in front of me, and the last one remaining is actually Meltzer. So that is who I am going to take. Ron Meltzer, 21 years old, really strong, really solid. And the center class was okay, so this could be a solid pick. Normal dev. He looked so promising, so you obviously have to take him. But, yeah, he was a little bit of an L. But, yeah, I'm not really getting the positions I need for the future. This was just not a great draft class, sadly. And even though we really don't need a linebacker right now, you know, Leonard is not the youngest guy anymore. This guy's super elite for athleticism, so I'm going to go for him. And he is hitting. Obviously, the athleticism is great, but compared to what he probably should be based on those times and those numbers, not the best, but obviously, you know, for Madden terms, super elite. We got fleeced from the Bears in the 4th round for, you know, draft picks next season. And then this was kind of like the fastest remaining, like, wide receiver. And I kind of need more wide receivers. He's got great excel, great speed. So he might be a little bit better than what it says he is. And, yeah, I mean, a 94 speed, I'd probably expect him about 93. So, fair enough. But I suppose, even though we didn't really future-proof too much, especially for the defense, we did... 77 overall. We did land some solid players. The center was sadly normal dev, and he wasn't even that good of an overall, but we did get a couple of decent players. Obviously, the tight end being the number 1, which, speaking of, he will be the number 1. 90 spec catch on top of it. Meltzer, 72 overall. What are his ratings, though? Definitely not the worst I've seen. Just that dev, man. So brutal. And then D. Long, probably future right outside linebacker, I suppose, right? So if he's going to be on the team future-wise, that would be his spot. Right outside linebacker. What's the dev? Start development trade, sadly, but it is what it is. Was there anyone I missed? Oh, yeah, my 2 linemen in the 3rd, I suppose I probably should have traded up for, so let's see. I will say the guy that I was going to grab 2 of these players. I was going to hopefully get Nolan and Meltzer, and Nolan is hitting development trade. He's obviously undersized, but those were the 2 best prospects based on the key ratings. So we missed out on Nolan, his star. Bush was good too, but he would have been my number 3 out of the bunch. So if I could have chosen 2 out of the 3, I would have chosen Semi wrong because obviously Bush is hidden and in general better than the guy we got. So a little bit of an L there, but it is what it is. Just wasn't a good draft class, like I said. Here we are with the team for Season 3. It's already Season 3, which is crazy. Jelani Woods. Yeah, I don't think so. He'd be the backup tight end. The offense. Receivers, we're hoping Glenn takes a step forward. He had a pretty good season last year, but didn't really go up in overall. Cox is the brand new tight end 1. He's got so much more potential. O-line, center / right tackle / left tackle might need to be replaced, but we do have at least Price as the backup role, so shouldn't be more than 2 offensive linemen needing to be replaced. Obviously, the running back's great. Quarterback, the whole point of the rebuild is, him, so we're not going to replace him. DTs were, on the mind. Thankfully, Buckner's still holding up strong. Same with corner. I need some of these youngsters to really develop this year, though. Like, we've got some guys with so much potential that have really just not gone up in overall. And here we go with a dev up for Anthony Richardson, who's now a superstar development trade quarterback. Take a look at who needs to be paid. $138 million. Obviously, Kenny Moore with an X-Factor dev has made himself much more of a longevity type player on this team, whereas before you're probably going to let him go. Buckner, same kind of deal as an X-Factor. He's actually looking to stick around a little longer than I was expecting him to. Quiddy Pay, I don't know how well he's playing now, but every season before this, he's been basically worth it, so If he's on par again, which he actually is not, maybe I actually do want to do the shorter term deal. I probably should have done the 5th-year option. I just assumed he was going to be a guy we kept long term. Maybe that's not going to be the case. Anthony Richardson also needs to be edited to be a... Basically, I'm just going to make it a 5-year, like, 35, maybe? I'm not really sure. It's like maybe 5-year 40, so basically 3-year 40 remaining anyways. What else do we have? Jeromepkr, I don't know how well he's playing, but we have money. It's just we have to figure out who needs to, who deserves to be paid. Same with Mackey. I think he's on like another 2 years, maybe 3. Headed to the playoffs. I actually kind of lost track of how well... Oh, okay. I was about to say, I kind of lost track of how well we were doing. I was focused on re-signings. I got most of the players I wanted, but for some reason, I just couldn't get Kwity Paye, so he's going to be like a tag situation. If we need it, maybe we win the Super Bowl here. I don't know. But Anthony Richardson, best year so far, but touchdowns are still a little low. I can see why. The running backs stole them all. Glenn with a really good season. Pittman, solid. Cox, similar to Jelani, but at least he has a higher ceiling. And then Pierce, his best year yet, technically, is the number 3. Blocking was okay. Ryman probably needs to be replaced. Simmons should be a superstar. Leonard, obviously, he's already a superstar. X Factor. Pass rush was garbage. Jeromepkr, I gave him a 3-34 because at the time, he had like 5 sacks, and then he just sucked the rest of the year. Kwity Paye wasn't that good, but he'll get the franchise tag probably, as long as it's not more than like 20 mil. Interceptions were low. How did we do so well? I know the offense was amazing, but like this defense, based on those numbers, I know those aren't the only numbers that matter, kind of sucks. First offense makes sense, and then 17 defense also makes sense. But how did we do it? Anthony Richardson, number 5 for MVP, number 1 for Offensive Player of the Year for Taylor, and then any other award wins. So basically just best running back kind of stuff. But a bye week, could it be a successful rebuild? I mean, it's already a successful rebuild. We've outshined all expectations early on. The Browns, they've given us issues. 90 overall Colts to the 85 overall Browns. Just let us have it in a good way, not like bend us over and force. Let's just, yeah. All right, going to the end of the game. The Browns do nothing. We do nothing with that short field from the Browns. 3-0. It's just like the damn last game, dude. No offense both times. 7-10, 7-17, 14-17. Finally opening up. 21-17. Come on! Not Browns. Okay. Let's see what happened. Oh, we do have the ball still. Okay, they must have got the first down. Moving into position with 25 seconds left. It's from the 50-yard line. It's a Hail Mary. Don't let him win. Simmons with the speed. Actually, screw that. Simmons with the size. Get him back there. Don't let it happen. Kwity Paye is not really doing it. Oh, they're going to force a bad throw. The defense is on it, and the team is headed to the championship round to face off against the Chiefs. Looking at the numbers, Anthony Richardson outperforming that guy. Jonathan Taylor, really bad yards per carry, but 2 touchdowns, so I guess it's something. The tight end did really well. Glenn has had a pretty damn good season. You can't deny it. Sack total's pretty tame. Interceptions, not bad. Simmons and Wilds. It is Wilds, right? I read that right. I don't know why. It's just some like certain names I don't expect them to be the way they are, and then even though I've seen them before, I'm like, wait, what? Oh, it is Wilds. Okay, fair enough. And also, Jonathan Taylor just got maxed out for trucking and elusive, which gave him a speed plus 2 to change direction, which now gets him 90. He's insane, dude. Armbar and jukebox. Wow. But like I said, we are going against the Chiefs, who have beaten the Jets 14-3, dude. So we barely stole that spot on them. Let's take a look at the Chiefs. So they beat the Bills by 3, beat the Jets by 7, both times scoring 28 points. Okay, this is interesting. I mean, our defense is pretty decent. Is it good enough to hold them to under 28, or is our offense good enough to score more than 28? Let's find out. We beat them once. We have done that. The team is technically better than it was before. All right, nice start. 7-0, 7-7. Wow, that turned around quickly. Oh, and then it returned around. 28-30, 5-14. 38-14 against the Chiefs in the first half. Well, this is over. We're headed to the Super Bowl. Oh, my. And hell, the Chiefs still gave it a pretty good run. We take that. Mahomes with 3 interceptions. Anthony Richardson outplaying him because of that. 4 rushing touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor. That'll also do it. Glenn was pretty good. Wow. Michael Thomas on the Chiefs, too, which just probably won't ever happen. Kwity Paye was really good. So the edge finally did something. A couple interceptions for the young guys on the team besides Leonard. And we're headed to the Super Bowl. I mean, if you can beat the damn Chiefs, I mean, is there really many teams that can stop you? To the Super Bowl, who is it going to be against? The Giants. Okay, I've seen the Giants do some damage, in fairness. Let's take a look at what these dev-ups look like, if we had any. Hopefully, Glenn went up. That would be one. Oh, wow, Glenn didn't go up. Okay. No dev-up for Richardson either, and then defensively, no dev-ups for anyone across the board, which is a bit surprising, especially for Glenn. But we're going to do our upgrades and head on against this 85 overall. So there's a chance. There's a chance. 85 overall team. That classic Colts versus Giants Super Bowl matchup. The Giants are kind of giving it to us, though. 10-7. Come on. We beat the Chiefs by like 400, dude. There we go. That's a little more like it. Giants are still in it. The missed extra points. Nice, though. 12-point game. And the Colts are Super Bowl champions. Anthony Richardson's already won a ring. Okay, I mean, if you can win a Super Bowl, I mean, the team's decent, right? Like, we're 90 plus, 91 overall. If you can win the damn Super Bowl with this team, and we weren't even really able to spend any money in free agency, I mean, this team is obviously, the ceiling is just not even close to reach. Who the hell is the quarterback? Looks like a poorly cloned Eli Manning. I don't even know, but Anthony Richardson, Super Bowl champion already. Not perfect. Jonathan Taylor was great in this one. It's a weird one. It's a little weird because it's just like you have a couple of different receivers coming up, and then the defense has been pretty underwhelming for the most part, but deservingly so. Something just tells me that the DBs actually killed it in this one. Also the linebackers, of course, but the DB, specifically Kenny Moore, I feel were a massive part of this. And just something that tells me that. The team was able to hold teams pretty hard on defense, all things considered, especially with a lot of short fields from the offense. Really good performance there from Anthony Richardson, though. Dave Cox, sure, I guess. Not bad. 2 touchdowns. Rush and Kenny Moore with interceptions, ironically enough, perfectly timed saying that. Okereke with an interception still there, which I know he's got that contract in real life, but Madden, usually they don't stick around too long, but we have won a Super Bowl in year 3. That's a success. I mean, there was a decent chance that it could have happened last season. We had a pretty good run, beat the Chiefs there as well. Kind of have the Chiefs number in this one, but we've actually won the Super Bowl. Like, that's nice. And I did want to check one more thing, and that was rushing stats. Anthony Richardson. I didn't actually pay attention too much to the rushing stats in this rebuild. Obviously, the scheme's probably not built for rushing, but the Falcons, I suppose, kind of Ritter, Mariota from, this real-life season, this past season, known to run the ball a bit. So, yeah, not really that great, but, kind of busted. How was his career? So, in the 3 seasons he played, 99 touchdowns, 41 interceptions, just under 13,500 yards, completion percentage of 68%. Much better than that college career, of course. Really solid numbers, though. Just really did well, I suppose. Not like the best I've seen, especially from an Anthony Richardson, kind of build, but definitely good. Definitely good. Richardson only an 84 overall, which he did start off only as a 70 overall because I reduced his ratings. Deep accuracy 71. He's super strong. Still has plenty of time to develop, but wow, okay, yeah, that's something. Jonathan Taylor we did look at recently, but I did get a +3 to catching with him, which puts him at 74, which is something, I guess, if it means anything to you. Pittman, let's see what his ratings are. He's got to be pretty much maxed in, receiving. Okay. Maybe not. His catching's great. His release is amazing. Short routes decent. Medium routes okay. Deep routes not great. He got a speed upgrade recently enough, which puts him at 90. He's pretty damn good, in fairness. Glenn's an 80 overall. Did he get any speed upgrades? I think he started with 93. Very similar kinda, not really to Pittman. I've seen those catching ratings, but yeah, that release is nowhere near. Cox we just got. All right, that's interesting to say, but very good route runner already. Obviously started with that 90 spec catch. He's an amazing catcher already. Mismatch nightmare. He really is. Kincaid actually developed pretty nicely. Look at his overall. Trejo, what a guy. Normal dev to superstar in 1 year. Insane hit power out the gate. Block shed, zone coverage is amazing. Started with pretty low zone coverage. Kind of developed that. Kenny Moore, the man. Superstar X Factor. Sticking around for a lot more years than kind of projected to, stick around for. So you love to see it. And then Buckner is a really high overall still, but what are his ratings? As expected. Block shed's good, though. 82 finesse, though. Not very good. Kind of would need to replace Stewart with some sort of actual, pass rushing player. And speaking of rushing, Armin Rush, he's only a 2-year guy, but not great, though. He's really not developing well, but obviously he's still pretty young, so you would live with it, obviously. Nick Cross, ceiling is ridiculously high. Going to be 23 with 85 zone, and that speed is just kind of absurd. What else do we have? We have the 2 edge rushers, I suppose, would be interesting to take a look at. 91 finesse, which is kind of why I kept him, because he developed pretty nicely, especially with the 10K XP and the fact that he had a camp standout. And then Kwity Paye, I actually don't even know if he would be as good. Yeah, a little bit more balanced, but a little more athletic at the same time. The edge was pretty good the year before, which is why I was, pretty interested in extending him this season, which we did kind of. But, yeah, a little disappointed with that edge this season. But that's going to be it for this rebuild. There's really not much more to show. We won a Super Bowl. That's the goal. We completed it. That's it. That's all I have for you. Don't know what the upload schedule is. Second channel even. Hopefully, if you haven't already seen a second channel upload today, probably the first episode of Star Wars Jedi Survivor over there on the second channel, PK Plays. Like I said, I don't know the schedule for those videos. I don't know the schedule for the main channel. Kind of just as it goes, the draft. If there's fun players that get drafted that I feel like I want to do a rebuild right away for, that'll be the case. If not, maybe I just do, maybe I give it a break. Maybe I don't, back-to-back rebuilds are kind of longer videos, and, not everyone's going to watch the full thing in the first try, and who knows? We'll see, but definitely some sort of video over the weekend, whether it's multiple on Saturday and then Sunday like usual, or if there's just one on Sunday, whatever it is, be on the lookout. And the community tab will let you know for anything on the second channel, or just maybe subscribe over on PK Plays. It means a ton to me, as, once we start Jedi Survivor, we'll get things rolling back over there again. After that's completed, maybe we play Dead Island 2, and still got God of War, and, I haven't played the Last of Us game, so there's so much stuff to do. And, yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think about the rebuild, and what do you think is going to happen for Anthony Richardson? Is he going to start out the gate? Is he going to look decent? Is he going to be a bust? What do you think? What do you think about the situation? I think for his sake, not the worst place to land. Definitely a lot worse places to try and succeed at or in. But that's about it. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate continued support a ton on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. And then, like I said, second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.